In this year's SEC West, everyone is gunning for the frontrunner, LSU. But Auburn and defending champ Arkansas have the Tigers in their sights, and the return of the formidable Nick Saban to Alabama has the SEC Western Division up for grabs. Preseason favorite LSU is aiming for nothing less than a national title this year. Les Miles has his crew fired up, and rightfully so. Filling in for #1 draft pick Jamarcus Russell is senior quarterback Matt Flynn, who proved himself a credible leader after MVP honors in the 2005 Peach Bowl. And while he may have lost several big-time receivers to the NFL, senior receiver Early Doucette is ready to step up. With almost 800 yards receiving and 8 touchdowns last year, the preseason All-SEC first-teamer is sure to be the long ball threat the Tigers need through the air. The LSU defense just keeps on reloading, and they should be as fearsome as ever. They held opponents to under 250 yards per game last season, and with 8 returning starters, led by All-SEC seniors tackle Glenn Dorsey and linebacker Ali Highsmith, the Tigers could even improve on last year's third-ranked D. They say defense wins championships, and this year's LSU team is out to prove it. Hoping to equal last year's 11-2 record and top 10 finish for the Auburn Tigers, senior quarterback Brandon Cox brings experience under center, but a lot of questions remain for an offense that only ranked 9th in the conference last year. Offering hope are the 7 returning starters on defense. The surprise return of defensive end Quentin Groves for his senior season certainly gives the team a spark. Head coach Tommy Tuberville is facing what some consider a rebuilding year and has a tough road ahead of him, literally. A killer road schedule looms, including games at Florida, LSU, Arkansas, and Georgia. The return of Nick Saban to the SEC has had Tide fans talking all offseason, but whether or not there is really something to talk about remains to be seen. The offense is loaded with experience, especially through the air. Led by junior gunslinger John Parker Wilson and senior receivers DJ Hall and Keith Brown, the offense boasts 9 returning starters. The receiving duo of Hall and Brown should create enough offense until the Tide figure out a replacement for running back Kenneth Darby. They won't have much time, though. The Tide face Arkansas, Georgia, and Florida State consecutively in the first half of the season. The highlight on defense is All-SEC cornerback Simeon Castile. He'll lead an inexperienced group that's switching to a 4-3 scheme in an attempt to amp up the defensive attack. If anything, Bama has created a mystique in just hiring Saban, but now it's time to see if he'll perform or if he'll join the long line of coaches overshadowed by the ghost of Bear Bryant. The big question mark for Arkansas is how they'll deal with the offseason's off-field distractions. Houston Nutt lost 2 big-time players, most notably blue-chip QB Mitch Mustain, and was entangled in a flurry of media speculation about their departures. The answer for Arkansas is 2 simple words: Darren McFadden. Last year's Heisman Trophy runner-up ran for over 1,600 yards and scored an SEC best 14 touchdowns. And right behind him is junior Felix Jones, another 1,000-yard rusher himself. The tandem will be tough to handle, and it will take a serious defense to stop them. Unfortunately for Arkansas, it may be their own. Their D suffered serious losses last season, and while their secondary should be solid, the Hogs will have to stay healthy to challenge for a repeat SEC West title. Rounding out the Western Division are Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Ed Orgeron's Rebels will be relying on senior running back Ben Jarvis Green Ellis to rescue them from a tumultuous quarterback situation. Last year's starter, Brent Schaefer, didn't live up to his promised hype, and the starting position is now wide open. And over at Mississippi State, Sylvester Croom has increased confidence in this year's team after a 6-year bowl drought. 9 starters return on offense, including almost the entire offensive line, and veterans in skill positions such as QB and running back. That means this year could be the year Croom finally moves out of the basement in the SEC West. This has been your 2007 SEC West football preview.